Right, so Sibuye has just arrived as well. So both of them are here, Clalumba in the tree and Sibuye walking along the bank towards the tree. They've seen each other and there's lots of salivating going on. So I'm intrigued to see now what takes place. You'll see that that's Sibuye there, that's kind of walking along the bank. See how her mouth is open, salivating. She's looking. Clalumba will be just up in the tree ahead. So I don't really know what's going to happen now as to whether they're going to come to blows. But both these females will be very, very unhappy. We know that they both consider this part of their territory. Tlalumba's going to come down the tree, I think, to come and face this head on. There's Sibuye's now scent marking. I wonder what Clalumba's going to do, if she's going to run or she's going to come this way. No, she's coming this way. This is her first test in terms of her, or major test. I mean, we know that she's come across Shadulu recently, but this is going to be one of her big tests on the southern boundary. Sibuye's also a big cat. She's a bulky little girl as well, so it's going to be very, very interesting. Now you see the behavior from both leopards, both rolling. So this is all trying to just show that this is their territory. They're trying to mark territory by using their facial glands. They scent marking with their back feet and urinating as well. As there will be little vocalizing every now and then. There'll be salivation coming out. And both these cats will be trying to prove a point. Now they've both been here all day, obviously. And this is all just about who has more kind of size and more aggression towards the other one as to how this is going to play out. Clalumba, can you hear Sibuye growling? What you often find is during the day these kind of disputes settle right down. Both cats get hot and they find a place to sit and rest. But as soon as it cools down like this is when they start to get a lot more active and a lot more kind of capable of doing damage to one another. And when you're in these situations, it's never something that you really want. You don't want to see either cat fighting, but ultimately this is part and parcel of a wild leopard's life. They have to, at some point, defend territories, and if Clalumba is going to raise cubs and become a mother, she needs to lay out very defined territories for herself for the protection of those cubs. And just try to keep quiet to see if you can hear the growling over the sound of the running water. I believe you guys can only hear the running water. It's a very low growl coming from both of them, and one growls and stops and then the other one starts. So funny because, you know, the day when we found this drag park, we were saying that it could very well be Tlalamba or Sibuye. That was my initial guesses that I had. And it's crazy to think that both cats are now here. It doesn't surprise me at all, given how these two are both individuals that are kind of, well, I suppose Clalumba is trying to establish herself as a dominant female where she's going to raise cubs, whereas Sibuye, she's got to start making space for cubs. We know that her two cubs currently are of the age where she's going to leave them, and so she's got to at some point make space for them. Now I just want to quickly guide this vehicle that's coming from the other side. Yeah, Mike, you need it. The reason probably is due to the fact that we have an oversupply of leopard at the moment. It's quite simple. I've been saying it for months, is that there's going to be a blowout between our cats here. The whole Hukamuri situation is because of a high density of leopards. These guys too. There's the female numbers in this area are so high at the moment that as she's kind of moving around within an area that she's trying to define as her territory, she's got competition. So to the north she has Luna, to the east she has Tandi, to the south Sibuye, and to the west Shadulu. She's surrounded, and now she even has Kara that's coming into an area where she's walked around before. So you've got a surrounding of the area by other females, and this is what happens, is all these females are trying to expand their territories as big as possible to maximize the resources in that area. So they want to have good den sites, they want to have water, and they want to have prey availability. And so as those territories expand, they start to come into contact with others. Now, because she might be pregnant and thinking, well, I need to start marking territory, she's moving around in much bigger areas than maybe she was used to. And what that means is she's now starting to bump into other cats. It's just, unfortunately, the nature of the beast is that as we start to get more and more of these adult leopards within the area and the territory sizes start to shrink, so there's going to be more competition for vital areas, and so we're going to see these guys coming to blows. And I wouldn't be surprised if the density of these leopards is so high that any of the younger females, so the Inzutinis, Karas, Langas, they're going to unfortunately be pushed out and going to have to become nomadic for a bit because of just the number of territorial female leopards. For those of you that don't know the numbers of territorial female leopards in this area at the moment, we have Monzo, Inkanyeni, Luna, Kara, Tlalamba, Sibuye, Kuchava, Tandi, Tiani, Moya, and Shinzele. So that's 12, and I forgot Inkanyeni, I think, in that as well. So we're looking at 12 to 14 female leopards in this section without counting any of the young females. So that's, makes it very, very difficult for these guys not to come to blows at some point. And those young females, unfortunately, are going to have to give way at some point too, unless territory sizes just shrink even further than what they already are for all of these cats to make space for one another. Absolutely phenomenal, though. We've timed this so right to be able to kind of get you just as everything is happening. Clalumba was the first one to emerge from a thicket, and then as soon as she moved, Sibuye started to make her way as well. I wonder if Tlalumba's going to go back up the tree. Look at her, she's marking. I will say this though, these are both prime specimens in the female world. They are beautiful cats, both of them, and both of them are in the best condition you can imagine. I mean, Clalumba is stocky and well set, and obviously she's been feeding well, so she's looking really good. And Sibuye herself is not a small cat, as I was saying. So, it's crazy to see kind of two prime leopards in the same place. Often when you get these interactions, it can sometimes be like older leopards with very young leopards, and the young leopards give way, or prime leopards against very old leopards, and again there's a dominance that takes place. But in this situation, both of these cats are fairly evenly matched, and it's why I'm so intrigued to see what's going on. But what we can see so far is that Tlalumba's not backing down, unlike the other night with Shidulu, where she ran and Shidulu chased her. In this instance, she hasn't moved from this area the whole day. She's basically saying, this is my kill and I'm not giving it up for you at all, which is a good thing. We need to see Clalumba doing that if she's going to stay around Juma. And she needs to make it very clear to these other females that she's not going to be pushed around by them. The only problem with that is it might lead her to actually have physical kind of contact with one of these cats. She looks up the tree as though she wants to go back up again. As soon as she goes, though, Sibuye will go closer. And the problem that you have when a leopard's up a tree is you don't want to be caught up a tree. In this case, when she's on the ground like this, she's able to watch what's happening and she's able to deal with it. So if she feels like she needs to run, she can run. If she wants to fight, she can fight. If she wants to hide, she can hide. But in a tree, she gets cornered. She can't go anywhere. And fighting in a tree is also not as easy as being on the ground. When you're on the ground, you're a lot more sure-footed than you are in a tree. And there's a lot more space to maneuver. So I don't think we will see her going up, but if she does go up, it's going to make for a bit of a disaster in many respects. Vim is 10 years old. I hope so too. I mean, we never want to see any of our animals get hurt out here. Obviously, this poor impala was hurt by Clalumba, and that's what's caused these two to come together. And ideally, you don't want to see territorial disputes end in any sort of injury or death. But the reality is that it is a possibility, and it's why leopards typically don't want to fight with one another. And it's why you're seeing what we're seeing now. Both cats are growling. So they're giving a sound to say that they're not happy, that they don't want the other one to come close. They're rolling in order to put their scent everywhere, to try and show the other one that this is my territory, I'm marking, don't come near me. So they're trying to do everything that they can so as that they don't get themselves into a situation where they're going to actually have to touch each other. Because unfortunately, leopards have all the tools to kill animals because they're predators, and then that's what they have to eat meat. They have sharp claws, sharp teeth, and that means they've got to go after, and when they go after each other, those tools that they use normally to kill animals to eat can be very dangerous to one another. And so leopards know that they don't want to fight with one another if they can help it, because the reality is that they could get very badly injured, and that's obviously something they want to avoid. So what they rather try and do is try and use everything that they can to try and intimidate the other one. And what intimidate means is to try and scare the other one away, to say to the other one, I don't want you close here. Sibuye is moving now. She's going to lie back down. She just stood up. While Clalumba was facing away, you see how clever these cats are. They know as soon as the other one faces away, it opens an opportunity to get a little bit closer without being seen. I'm so impressed with Clalumba though. It's kind of, for me, it's a big deal when she stands her ground like this. The other day, she unfortunately was chased by Shadulu, and I thought, well, maybe she's just, not ready to really stand her ground yet. But this sighting is all about her just saying, I'm not moving, this is my kill, you can move out of the way. I'm not giving it up for you, which is so good and so